Hello, I'm Mishka, and this channel is the Helsinki Renaissance, where we will be talking about arts and culture, and hopefully the most Renaissance man-like manner which arts and culture has ever been discussed. At least that's the plan, and I hope, dear viewer, that you think that that's a good plan, and that's why you're here. Now, anyway, I just recorded the second part in my video about the filmography of Ingmar Bergman. The reason why I needed to record two parts is because Ingmar Bergman has made quite a lot of movies. I've seen 39 of them, minus the documentaries. And I couldn't really have any kind of more meaningful discussion about them in just one video, so that's why I needed to divide them into two. But I thought that I'd do a really quick third part where I rank the Ingmar Bergman movies from my favorite to least favorite, because I remember one viewer of the channel saying a long time ago that when I just casually said that the reason why we can't think of Denmark as having a top tier film scene is because if Alfred Hitchcock was his own country, he would have more classics than the entirety of the Danish film industry. So that basically you can't be a top tier film culture if literally every filmmaker in the history of a given country cannot produce more classics than just Alfred Hitchcock himself. And so I just casually said that out of all directors, Hitchcock is the one with, just as far as purely the quantity of classics is concerned, Hitchcock is the one who has the most. In that some people could conceivably say that somebody like John Ford has more, it's a fact that John Ford has more movies than Alfred Hitchcock, but John Ford's movies, a lot of those aren't true classics. They aren't really viewed by anyone other than diehard John Ford fans. I'm talking about some even, at the time, slightly bigger movies like What Price Glory or something like that. Those just aren't that universally viewed, whereas Hitchcock movies are, whether people love them or not, they watch them. Like Quentin Tarantino talked about how when he's programming for the new Beverly Theater that he has in Los Angeles, regardless of what Hitchcock films he puts, a guaranteed sold out crowd. If the marquee says Alfred Hitchcock and then insert movie, it's a guaranteed sold out crowd. So Hitchcock movies, people really watch them, so they are real classics. But this one viewer of mine insisted that Bergman would still have more classics, and again I found it an absolutely absurd statement. Not because Bergman wouldn't have lots of classics, but the idea that anyone tries to argue that Hitchcock wouldn't have the most classic, it just seems such an outlandish suggestion. But now that I rank these Bergman films from my favorite to least favorite, it starts to make a bit more sense. I obviously disagree. There's no way that Bergman has more classics than Hitchcock. I would make the argument that Hitchcock's Psycho in and of itself is a bigger classic than the entirety of most top-tier directors' filmography. You cannot overstate how big a deal Hitchcock has been as a director. Hitchcock was kind of the original star auteur before that ball started rolling, in that Hitchcock sort of is everything as far as establishing anyone as a top tier director. So you can't really compete against him as far as purely the quantity of the classics is concerned. Obviously, lots of people can say that Stanley Kubrick movies are better or insert director movies are better. The qualitative stuff, there can be no end to the debates there, but just as far as quantity of classics, like Hitchcock is very hard to compete against. Like, I don't think people realize about just what an era-making event just the Alfred Hitchcock Presents TV show was. Like, for lots of people, like, that was one of the biggest deals in their, TV watching life at the time. Like, Hitchcock was a massive superstar as a director, and basically everything that he did after he had established himself, basically everything he did was a home run success, with just a couple of flops here and there, sure, but like, the Hitchcock filmography, it has a lot of classics, and this Bergman filmography, it goes deep, but like, yeah, it's not the same, and you can't honestly entertain the discussion that a single Bergman film is as big a classic as Psycho, or that some of these next step type movies would play like Strangers on a Train or something. Like, it's an unfair competition, let's put it that way. But anyway, in case anyone is interested in my personal rankings of these Bergman movies, by the way, dear viewer, I hope that you'll appreciate that these are my personal favorites. My taste may be different from your taste. I understand if some people will be like, this is some bull jive. Why is insert movie ranked too low, or why is insert movie ranked too high? I can allow for such back and forth, of course, but the whole point of this kind of video is that if my tastes are different than your taste, then obviously my list is different than your list, and that's the chief interest in a video like this, not that our list would be identical, which I don't suspect that they are. But anyway, like, I just want to insist, I'm ranking this purely as which films are my personal favorites, which films are the most removed of being favorites. So that's why something is number 1 and something is number 39 or something. I don't care about the quality of the movie that much. Depending on the day that I'm doing this list, like, one film might be a bit higher, one film might be a bit lower, but the general trend is pretty stable with this. So with all of that introducing out of the way, I'll just read the list first, and then I'll talk about the selections, or I'll talk about why something is where it is. So, number 1, The Magician. Number 2, Fanny and Alexander. Number 3, Seventh Seal. Number 4, Hour of the Wolf. Number 5, Silence. Number 6, Winterlight. Number 7, Summer with Monica. Number 8, Smiles on a Summer Night. Number 9, Passion of Anna. Number 10, Cries and Whispers. Number 11, Wild Strawberries. Number 12, Prison. Number 13, Persona. Number 14, Virgin Spring. Number 15, Through Glass Darkly. Number 16, Life of the Marionettes. Number 17, Autumn Sonata. Number 18, Leasson In Love. Number 19, Scenes from a Marriage. Number 20, Crisis. Number 21, To Speak Nothing of These Women. Number 22, The Touch. Number 23, The Serpent's Egg. Number 24, Ship to India. Number 25, Thirst. Number 26, Waiting Women. Number 27, The Devil's Eye. Number 28, Shame. Number 29, To Joy. Number 30, Magic Flute. Number 31, Saraband. Number 32, It Rains on Our Lava. Number 33, Music in the Dark. Number 34, Port of Call. Number 35, Sawdust and Tinsel. Number 36, It Can't Happen Here. Number 37, the Swedish title is Sommarlek. I don't know if it's Summer Play, Summer Interlude, something like that in English. Number 38, Brink of Life. Number 39, Imagemakers. And that's not counting the far documentaries. I'm, trying to do this with the natural light. So anyway, that's my list, and I don't know whether there's much that I need to justify. Like, just as I could flip Passion of Anna and Cries and Whispers. Maybe I should. That Passion of Anna would be 10 and Cries and Whispers 9. Some people conceivably don't like Wild Strawberries out of the top 10. I think that might be my father's favorite Bergman movie, Wild Strawberries. Some people conceivably think that Virgin Spring is too low. They conceivably think that Scenes from a Marriage is too low. They definitely will complain that Autumn Sonata is too low. I don't know. People probably will complain that Sawdust and Tinsel is too low, and maybe complain about Halmstad or Port of Call has been too low. Maybe someone will complain about Sommarläkarshame. But the thing is that there's a lot of good movies. Only 20 movies can make the top 20. So some of these will have to be pushed out of the top 20. It was interesting that a lot of these Bergman comedies that I feel like I'm almost alone in appreciating, like A Leasson In Love, To Speak Nothing of These Women. What am I missing? Well, The Devil's Eye is a comedy, and then there's some comedy that I'm missing here somewhere. But anyway, some of these comedies, I tried to put them higher. I tried to put To Speak Nothing of These Women higher. I just couldn't. I tried to put A Leasson In Love higher. I just couldn't. I feel like this is a pretty stable, maybe Prison at 12. Maybe that was a bit too high. Fängelse. But Prison conceivably could be a bit lower, but it is, I think it's definitely an underrated Bergman movie. So maybe I should drop it at 15 and then put Persona and Virgin Spring one stop higher or something. I don't know, but that doesn't really matter. I feel like the major thing about this list is that I think that there's a huge drop off after the top 4, and then the films are clustered from number 5 to number 17, where I honestly don't have that much of a difference between how much I like Silence and how much I like something like Autumn Sonata. So from 5 to 17 they're very clustered versus the top 4. They're they're at a clear lead. And then after the top 20, from Crisis to Saraband at from 20 to 31, I think that those are okay. Those are nice movies, but not really big personal favorites. And then from 32 down, that's 7 movies that I'm not really much of a fan of, but some of them are okay. But yeah, that was my list, and I don't know if there's much else to be said about the video. I don't know whether I should do any other director rankings. Maybe my views on Jean-Luc Godard filmography, or I don't know, that could conceivably be something. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, this was just a video that I thought that I'd do. I don't know if anyone's interested, but yeah, those were my thoughts on how good the Bergman filmography is and how big personal favorites some of them are. But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you have some thoughts that you want to leave in the comments or whatever about my list, your list about Bergman in general, then feel free. But that was it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.